Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Druks Milan Unboxing. Please give the channel a like and a subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at Druks Unboxing, and I'm also a monthly contributor to the Bible of Boxing, the Ring magazine. And this Saturday on streaming live on The Zone, we're going to be turning our attention to Uzbekistan, of all places. Apparently it's a boxing mad country. I'm not the expert on amateur boxing at all. I don't watch a lot of it, but while watching the Olympics, I was struck, like I'm sure many of you were, about all these good fighters coming from Uzbekistan. Obviously another factory style churn out of a very good old Eastern Bloc amateur system. And a bunch of these Uzbekistani fighters have made their base in Joel Diaz's gym in California in the USA, I gather. One of them has already won a world title, and he will be defending that his WBA and IBF junior featherweight world titles on the main event in Uzbekistan. That's of course Akhmadaliev. But the fight that I'm interested in for my South African and African compatriots and the people there in the Congo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, is one of the guys on the undercard who will be facing one of our guys. I say one of our guys, he trains with Damian Durant in Joburg. And he is one of these Congolese fighters that are South African based, that are doing really well, and that's Emmany, the General Kalombo. He's an unknown outside of these borders, but he's 14-0 with 14 knockouts. I've seen him up close and personal at ringside. This guy is a beast, and he can crack. But he is up against one of these Uzbekistani stars. By moving them fast. Akhmadaliev, who's champion, has only had 8 fights now. This guy, Israil Madrimov, the Dream, Israil the Dream Madrimov, is only 6-0 with 5 knockouts now. But he's had over, depending on who you talk to, between 350 and over 400 amateur fights. So he's very well schooled. Now Madrimov, the best word I can describe him in is unorthodox. He's a complete switch hitter. When he's southpaw, when he's fighting an orthodox stance, he's not conventional, doesn't have a conventional stance. Hands are often down by his sides. He uses a lot of feints, and not only with his hands, also with his feet. He's this way and that way, and there's a lot of intricate upper body movement. He almost reminds me of a Nazim Ahmed, you know, very unorthodox, although he doesn't have, obviously he's a bigger fighter, he's a junior middleweight, so he doesn't have that sort of speed. And he can crack as well, you know, he knocks guys out. He comes with a shot from nowhere, from where you don't see it, in odd positions, and he cracks guys and he knocks them out to the body and to the head. Now in his last fight, he went 12 rounds against Eric Walker. Funny sort of fight. At one point he caught him with sort of a leaping left hook which appeared to knock Walker out, but the referee didn't count it as a knockdown, gave him 5 minutes and went for 12 rounds. Possibly a good experience for Madrimov. But you could also see in that fight that Israil Madrimov, there are chinks in his armor. You know, Walker made a fight of it here as the rounds went on. At one point, around about, I think about the 8th or the 9th, Madrimov was breathing heavy and he was looking almost a bit gassed. And I think also that's because of all this herky-jerky movement, and he's got a muscular physique on top of that. But Walker couldn't get the job done in the end. You know, the power of Madrimov and pedigree was just too much. Now, Emmany Kalombo is a much more conventional style. I won't describe him as awkward. He's a big junior middleweight. I expect him to be a bigger, taller guy in there against Madrimov. I don't have official measurements for Emmany Kalombo, but I've met him in person, and I'm about 5'11", just under 6 foot. It won't surprise me if Kalombo touches the measuring tape at 6 foot in height. He is a big junior middleweight. That's what he strikes me as if I see him. And I think he might be able to have a bit of a size advantage over Madrimov. I'm not sure because I haven't seen Madrimov in person. But he's won all his fights by knockout. 7 rounds is the furthest he's gone in his last fight against Daniel Latte. It was in December of 2019. But he lacks that international experience on the big stage. And this is now a huge step-up fight for him. This is what we're seeing in South Africa. We had Lunga Stimela, that had a huge step-up in Russia. Gave a good account of himself, competed well, was gritty, but lost in the end. And then we have Tabiso Mpunu, who just upset another former amateur star, Olympic gold medalist Evgeny Tishchenko. he gave him a boxing lesson in the end over 12 rounds. So it can be done. Kalombo is a very live underdog in this fight, I think, because he's got that power. He's not so much a one and done eater, although he's done that to guys like Nkululeko Mhlongo and Cristiano and Ndombasi. He's just very heavy-handed. He keeps pushing forward behind a good solid jab. His hands are up and he ducks some shots and he blocks some shots, but I won't describe him as slick. He does take shots. He's there in front of you. His offense is his defense. But he bangs very nice textbook shots, head and body, and he's a good combination puncher. And he knows how to set up that right hand, either with a left uppercut or a left hook. He moves you into that right hand of his. So it will be a very interesting fight because Madrimov has yet to be cracked by somebody who can really punch. If I look at his record, there's no really big punches there that stand out to me. And we have yet to see what he does if he's crowded and forced backward, because we've seen there against Walker, when Walker started hitting him in the body and just letting his hands go, Madrimov didn't like that too much. That made him breathe a little hard. So there's that, you know. So if I was Kalombo, I'd use my jab, and the jab is not going to work to Madrimov's head because he's going to duck and dive under, jab him in the chest, jab him on shoulder. These guys like Madrimov, who have all these awkward angles and movement to set up, they need a bit of space and they need a bit of time. And Kalombo mustn't give him that and bang away to that body. And then we'll see if Madrimov can take the power of Kalombo. Madrimov is going to fight his usual fight, and the thing with Emmany Kalombo against Nkululeko Mhlongo, he got what looked to me like a right hand straight on the chin and he went down. A referee didn't count a knockdown for some reason and the bell rang. Kalombo got out, but he can be hit, he can be hurt, he is human. And even against Cristiano and Ndombasi, who took a fight on late notice, I was ringside for that one, and Ndombasi could nail him with some right hands especially. So if Kalombo starts exchanging with you, there are gaps in between those punches, and if you punch with him, you're going to catch him. So far he's been able to walk through and recover through with everything, but I doubt that he's going to take too many shots from a guy like Madrimov. So for Kalombo, I would go and test that chin of Madrimov and put him under pressure and see how he reacts. If he can hurt Madrimov, and get him off his rhythm and his game plan, he's in with a good shot. But I think at some point Madrimov is going to catch Kalombo as well. And I think Madrimov can definitely hurt Kalombo if he catches him right. So I'm really looking forward to this fight. It's a very intriguing fight and a huge step up for Kalombo. A good test maybe for Madrimov, although the rest of the world who don't know Kalombo maybe don't see it like that. I see everybody picks Madrimov for early knockout. But a good test to see what will happen if somebody cracks him properly and really digs into that body and can impose their size on him, which I think Kalombo may be the guy to do. So we'll see. Who do I think is going to win? Kalombo has a puncher's chance. He must be careful not to get out of it before he gets going. So he's got a puncher's chance, and we'll see how well he can box, how well he can adjust, because Madrimov is tricky as heck. You're not going to hit him with everything, and his chin is going to be tested. So Madrimov, I can see it coming apart for him if Kalombo can drag him out late, hit him in the body, or if his chin is not so great and Kalombo nails him too many times with those shots. But in the end, you know, these Eastern Bloc fighters, if we look at Unu and Tishchenko over the weekend, Tishchenko may have been a gold medalist, but he wasn't a huge puncher. And Tabiso Unu is nothing but slick. He is a very crafty fighter. He's a tricky southpaw with very good head movement that Kalombo doesn't have to that extent, and he's not as seasoned. So that's what leads me to pick Israil Madrimov to eventually stop Emmany Kalombo, and what I think will be a nail-biting affair, and it will be an entertaining fight while it lasts. Of course, I'm rooting for Emmany Kalombo, being from Africa and the continent, and I hope he does it. I know Damien Durant, good luck to them, best of luck. I hope Emmany pulls it off. But when forced to pick, I have to go with a chalk, and I have to go for Israil Madrimov. I just think he hits hard as well. Probably just as hard as Kalombo, and if he catches him, I think he will get Kalombo out of it. But I think it will be entertaining for as long as it lasts. So that's it. That's what I think about Israil Madrimov and Emmany Kalombo. Until we see each other again, keep those hands up.